Hello, everybody. We're live from M5. I'm your host, Jack Cerone.
I'm Fedor.
And I'm Coach Harter.
So, how has it been like coaching for the first time at Rockland?
Taking over the head coaching job for the basketball program has been great. A lot of work. Definitely some trials, some tribulations, some things that were unforeseen, but I think that's how it goes with any job, right? You don't really know what it is truly until you get in it, until you immerse yourself. Being able to kind of take over and from somebody who had been doing it for a long time and left the program in a great place has definitely made the transition smoother. But just trying to plant my own feet and forge our own path and kind of go forward from there. But overall, it's been a great experience so far, 1 year down, and hoping to improve each year.
You've been coaching here for a long time and teaching here for a long time. How long have you been coaching and teaching here?
So 8 years ago, our family moved up here, and we had one kid at the time. Now we have three, and this is my 7th year technically at Rockland. I spent 3 here, and then there was COVID, and things got weird. I was the low man on the totem pole. I kind of had a ultimate choice to make between staying and possibly not having a job or going to find another job and being for sure, all while my wife was pregnant with 3, or our third, I should say. And I chose to not make my wife worry every day about being the breadwinner and having our third child. So I got a job and went to Wood Creek for a year, coached the girls there. It was a great experience, and there was an opportunity to come back and as the AD, and I came back, and now this has been 4 years back since. So 7 years and 1 year over at Wood Creek. And then coaching. I started coaching in high school when I got here, but then I've been coaching at the middle school level for 8 years before that. So 16 years coaching, 16 years teaching, kind of working my way up from a middle school, 6th grade girls basketball coach, track, cross country, wrestling, volleyball, you name it, I've done it. And now kind of here I am finding something that I really love to do and putting a lot of time and energy into it.
So, what made you start coaching? Like, what got you into it?
Yeah, that's a great question. My dad was a PE teacher, and he used to coach middle school sports, and I've always loved sports. I mean, when I was a kid, I was outside all the time. I mean, we didn't have TV the way that you guys have TV. We didn't have phones or, anything to really distract from just being a kid. So, to have fun, I had to have friends, and I had to play sports and, do things like that. I didn't get my first video game system until I was 12. Nintendo 64, great system. Really good. GoldenEye 007, maybe one of the best games ever created. So that wasn't until I was 12. So before that, I was just balling out. Baseball, soccer, hockey, street hockey, football, like anything I could get my hands on, I was doing it. Skateboarding, rollerblading. I mean, we built ramps and rails and all kinds of stuff, but it was all sports and activity based. I had a great upbringing. My parents were both teachers, and they really kind of forged the path for me, I would say. And, watching and looking at their life was something that I thought, yeah, that's a great life, and I could do that. So I jumped into it, and went to school and got my degree in physical education, and just always wanted to be a teacher and a coach. And here we are 16 years later, still doing it, still loving it, love interacting with kids every day and coaching. It's like a special brand of teaching. You really get to see that growth and maturity, the arc, especially at the high school level where freshmen come in like Fedor or Jack last year. And, 3 and 4 years from now, you guys are going to be different people, and you'll be grown men at that point. We just hope that we do our best job to help you get there and become, good fathers, good husbands, good, productive members of society that can give back to those who helped you along the way.
So based on your first year here, how was like the first practice and how was the first game that you ever coached as head coach?
Yeah, I think butterflies. I can think back to being a little nervous, to be honest. It's the first of anything can be a little bit nerve-wracking, something you care about. You want it to go well. So when you're out there and you're like, okay, are they going to listen? Are they going to buy in? And then, as soon as you kind of just get the first drill going in practice, you're like, okay, this is my home. I'm meant to be here. I'm settling in, and, it goes fine from there. First game, same way. You hope that you get a win. Our first game was a tough one down at Laguna Creek last year. We had our studs come out a little bit late from football, and we didn't know how much they were going to play. And, games counted on our record, and we're trying to win a game. And they played a lot more than they probably should have. But we were trying to get the win, and we ended up getting it in a close one against Laguna Creek. Low-scoring game. I want to say it was like 52-48 or something like that. You can fact-check me on that one on Max Preps, but something like that.
What made you start coaching basketball?
So, I don't know, maybe some of you guys know, I talk about it a little bit, but I actually played baseball in college all 4 years. I played at the junior college level and then transferred out to a Division II, Cal State Stanislaus, and finished my career there. I was a pitcher, and I love baseball. I loved baseball when I was a kid. I loved basketball when I was a kid, and I fell into baseball in that path. Going through high school and college, and college allowed me the opportunity to continue to play baseball at the, that level. So I went for it, and no regrets, absolute blast. Got out of college and got back into, what my career was going to be, and focused more on that aspect of life. And, that's when teaching and coaching gets back into it. And my first job's at a middle school, and, you guys have been to middle school. It's like the same PE teacher who coaches everything. That was me. I was coaching 5 sports, and, basketball for the girls and the boys happened to be one of them, and just always loved it. And then a couple years before we moved here, I was like really jonesing for like some higher level basketball. Like, how can I get to the high school level? And, we decided to move here, and this opportunity came up. So, just kind of fell by it naturally, and never had a real desire. I did coach at my alma mater, Santa Teresa High School down in San Jose in the Bay Area for baseball for 1 year. I was a JV pitching coach, and that was really fun, but I just didn't have a desire to really keep that going. I was way more career focused at that point. And then once you got into kind of the PE world, those two are really closely linked. It's not written in your job contract as a PE teacher, but it's assumed that you're going to be coaching something if you're going to get a high school PE job. And a lot of districts, even around here, if you stopped coaching and you're teaching PE, they might find somewhere else for you to be if your credential allows for that. So that's kind of how I got into it. Coach Taylor got me a start here, and, just kind of seeing where it takes me. It's been great so far.
Speaking of Coach Taylor, how does it feel to follow in his footsteps? For me, he was like one of the best coaches here at Rockland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's some big shoes to fill for sure. He set the example immediately for, I think, how to care for players and how to hold players accountable at the same time. There's always a fine line between accountability and, kindness. Those two things can often be misconstrued, I think. And when coaches are hard nowadays, that can tend to make people think a certain way about you as a coach. But for me, coaching kids hard is what kids need, and coaching kids to their potential and holding them up to a certain standard is what breeds good men. And that's what we're here to do. It's much less about the basketball, the X's and the O's, and it's way more about being able to produce young men that come from our program that are going to go out into the world and do good things. be responsible, be respectful, be kind, be tough when the situation requires it, be empathetic when the situation requires it. And I think he did a really good job of that. Not only would he, account for that in ways, in practice or in speeches, but he would also demonstrate that in his own life and in the way that he went about coaching and caring for the players. So that's been, immensely helpful in kind of growing as a coach myself. Being able to try to live up to those expectations is a whole nother thing. The wins and losses hopefully will kind of take care of themselves as long as we keep doing things the right way, day by day.
One more thing. How did you feel about beating Whitney for the first time of your career?
Yeah.
Of head coach for the last game of the season?
It was a really fun game, and I thought we should have beat them the first time. We got a really tough call with 4 seconds left, or actually with 1.5 seconds left in the game, and we were ahead by 1, and they called a foul on Sibo. Anyway, I thought we should have won that game, and it felt like we did because we played great, but we really doubled down and played even better at their place the second time around. It was, it's always fun to beat your rival. I like those guys over there. I work with Mr. Purdy, Coach Purdy, every other day here in our PE leadership class, and we've got a great relationship, and we talk about basketball all the time. So, being able to look across the way and see him over there and Coach French and, give him a wink and know that, hey, we're 1-1 and we should have beat you the first time is a good feeling for sure.
Do you have any more questions, Fedor?
No, thank you for coming.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
for coming.
Appreciate the interview. Thank you.